Are you struggling with your sexual urges? Are they getting the better of you? If that's the case, I encourage you to give Ramadan a go. Ramadan is a month where Muslims observe fasting from sunrise to sunset. So during the daylight hours, we refrain from eating and drinking, amongst many other things, such as engaging in intimate physical relationships with our partners, or self-pleasure. In fact, if you do engage in self-pleasure during Ramadan and you ejaculate, it actually nullifies your fast. So your fast for that day will basically go to waste, and it's considered a major sin. Now, why am I talking about Ramadan in this video? Because, look, I grew up a Muslim, and I've observed Ramadan since a very young age, since probably the ages of 7 or 8. You know, when I was really young, I'd fast half of the day, and then as I matured, of course, I'd fast the entire day. But one thing I noticed, especially in my late teens, early 20s, is that Ramadan helped me with my sexual urges. In fact, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, Prophet Muhammad, he encouraged those that were struggling with their urges to fast, to abstain from engaging in that which is forbidden. And I found that to be incredibly effective myself. When you fast, it takes away the animal nature in you to want to just satisfy your urges. Now, some may connect that to a lack of food and a lack of energy, perhaps. That could be one of the reasons. But also, I feel like it does something to the mind. It starves the mind of thinking of sex all day. It does that. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Muslim. I like to observe things from a very unbiased perspective. I like to challenge my beliefs. Not in a way of trying to disprove them, no. But in a way of trying to further cement why this is a good belief. And when I heard of many Muslim brothers back in the day encouraging fasting, and obviously the Prophet himself, peace be upon him, encouraging young men to fast who are struggling with their urges. When I did fast, I would pay attention to how I felt. And sure enough, I didn't feel the urge to want to just satisfy myself. That went away. It went away. I was a lot more connected to who I really am during my fasting days. I found the desire to want to better myself, read books, and really focus on the things that are important. Look, sex is not a bad thing, and I don't want to talk about it as if it's a bad or shameful thing to engage in. No, not at all. I mean, even Muslims have sex, for goodness sakes. I mean, there's over 1 billion of them around the world. Quite a lot of it, right? It's more so self-pleasure, which is extremely damaging. Extremely damaging. Because of how it affects other areas of your life. And that's why I've always noticed an increased level of productivity during Ramadan. When I'm fasting, I feel more productive because I'm not distracting myself with just eating and pleasuring myself, whether it's by watching movies, listening to music, doing things I shouldn't be doing. I have more time to focus on the things that are really important, whether it's getting closer to God or getting closer to achieving my career goals, as an example, reading more books. So I want you guys to consider fasting. Look, I'm not telling you to fast the entire month of Ramadan if you're not a Muslim. I mean, give it a go. I'm here in the UK, sun sets currently, because it changes as the month progresses. Currently, it's around 6:07 p.m., 6:08. Well, it will be that tomorrow. It was 6:06 today. So 6 p.m. Refrain from eating from the hours of around 4:50 in the morning to about 6 p.m. and just see how it feels. Give it a go for one day. Just see how you feel. Do you have the desire to want to, if you're struggling with porn addiction and just satisfying yourself, you'll notice as the day progresses, and look, if you've never fasted before, you may find it a little bit tricky in the first day or couple of days. You know, people have this misconception, you guys don't eat for a month? A month? And it's like, no, we do eat, otherwise we'd be dead at the end of the month, right? It's just between the certain hours of the day that we refrain from eating or drinking. But just give it a go between those hours. And come back to this video and comment on how it's made you feel. Now look, you don't have to be a Muslim to fast. You know, Christians fast. Jewish people fast, of course. And so they may also, people of those faiths may also comment down below on how it's made them feel when they fast. You know, in terms of their sexual urges. Comment down below. How has it impacted you? How? And you've got to approach it with the right mindset as well. If you approach something with a very cynical mentality, you won't give yourself enough time to really reap the rewards. You know? That's like someone going to the gym for the first time in years and saying, all right, let's see what this gym thing is all about then. And they go in and they lift a couple of weights and I'm like, okay, cool, now what? Look at me, I still look the same. Or maybe the next day when they wake up, they expect to just be jacked and then they look in the mirror and they look exactly the same, which you will do for a long time. All right, the first couple of weeks really, you don't notice any major changes. First month maybe, and then the gains start kicking in if you're eating right and you're training right. But it's the same thing when it comes to fasting in relation to how it tames your sexual urges. You can't approach it and then in the first 4 hours think, well, this is shit, I still feel horny. Look, your mind has been wired a certain way for so long. The moment you feel an urge, you satisfy it, you satisfy it. But when you know that if you satisfy the urge, you ruin something, in the case of Muslims, if you satisfy that urge and you ejaculate, you ruin your fast. Then there's like a punishment associated to it. It's like a, you know, something that's holding you back from doing it. And obviously, because so many people are fasting as well, there's a sense of togetherness in that regard. It's not that people are fasting for their sexual urges. That's not the main purpose of Ramadan. But this is a video on how it can impact your ability to control those urges. Because look, either you control those urges or those urges will control you, and they will devastate your life. They will. But if you know how to control them, you will be a dangerous man. The important thing to bear in mind is that this is a lifestyle. Abstaining from self-pleasure and pornography is a decision for life. It's not something you do for a certain period of time. However, baby steps. You got to start off with 1 day and then 2 days, and then eventually it just becomes part of who you are. You're not a guy who just busts nuts all over himself. You're not that kind of guy. You're a man who has a very fulfilling sex life with a woman that you're married to, because Muslim, you know, I preach marriage. I'm against hookup culture, right? That's what you want. You want a satisfying sex life with a woman that you're absolutely in love with and who's in love with you ultimately. Choose a woman who chooses you, as I've spoken about in previous videos. A man who's got something that he's pursuing in his life, a career that's meaningful, that brings him a feeling of fulfillment, most importantly. It's not about how much you have in the bank. I mean, of course, it's nicer to have more money. But as I've said before, success is not a Lambo and a mansion. Earl Nightingale defined success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. As long as what you're pursuing is worthy to you, it's fulfilling. Then whether you're a cab driver or the CEO of a $100 million company, you're going to go to bed satisfied at night. Okay? A lot of people focus on the things that success can buy for you. And they see that as success. That's not success. That's a consequence of someone being valuable to the marketplace. Okay? So I want you to give Ramadan a go. Give it a go. or at least fast for a day. Fast for a day. If you've been struggling with NoFap, you know, and for those of you that are new to NoFap, it's just basically a term that's been put together to describe a period of abstaining from fapping, which is basically masturbating. Okay? So when we say no fap, it means no masturbate, essentially, which is also coupled with many other things. It's not just about no masturbating, it's also about abstaining from porn, because porn is linked to masturbation in most cases. No one's just going to sit there and watch porn without touching themselves. I mean, it's fucking weird, right? So a lot of people consume porn and masturbate, which then doubles the damage. That's a double whammy right there. You're ruining yourself. All right, so give it a go. I just wanted to share this because it's been really impactful, and obviously Ramadan's just started, so I thought, what better time to make this video than now? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, comment, let me know what you think down below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more self-help videos. Catch you in the next one.